Hey, this is Troy Erickson from the Secrets of Scale podcast, and of course, Email Paramedic here with Christian Davis on my team.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
So we wanted to hop in because we have a really cool episode today with one of our very favorite clients who sells a really cool product that more people need to know about, especially if you're health-minded and you're an entrepreneur. So I'd like to welcome Amy Lacey from Cali'flour Foods.
Hi there.
Hey, how's it going, Amy? How are you today?
How are you? I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. So obviously we've been working together a little while now. And like I said, I really want to get the message about cauliflower out there. So can you tell us a little bit about how you started this company and your humble beginnings and kind of how you've taken it to where it is today?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to share because I did not go into this business anticipating to be in the food business like we are, where we're nationwide, Walmart, all different stores, Sprouts, Whole Foods. I went in because I was having pizza night. I'm a mom of 3 kids, and we were doing pizza night and game night and having a great time. And literally like that, like one day I woke up and I was very swollen, and it just, I started having a lot of inflammation attacking my body. I went to the doctor to figure out what was going on, and I had lupus and Sjogren's. So what I've learned from that experience, besides creating products and changing the way I ate, is that you really, if you have any kind of past trauma, or it can manifest itself into illness, specifically any kind of inflammation that attacks your body, stress, lack of sleep, eating poorly, will attack your body in the form of inflammation. And so that's what happened. And I needed to change the way I ate. I met with a guy named Rob Wolf, who wrote the Paleo Solution. He opened the first CrossFit in my hometown. And so my husband and I were working out there, and I sat down with him and I just said, here's my hands, here's my face, here's my rash. The doctors want to put me on this horrible drug called Plaquenil, and I have to have my eyes checked, and I'm just freaked out. Can you help me? And he said, yeah, let's do the elimination diet. So we did that. And I still was missing that pizza. I wasn't able to eat pizza with my family. And I started feeling really guilty about serving them food that I knew was causing inflammation. They're young, it wasn't affecting them, but eventually it will affect them. So I started looking for ways to make that pizza for Friday family night. And I found a recipe online with cauliflower. I didn't like cauliflower. I'm like, I don't think of it as a vegetable. It's not green. It smells. It's like the last vegetable standing at a party at a veggie tray, on a veggie tray. So I was a little hesitant, but I made it. It flopped, made it again. It flopped, finally perfected it. And my kids loved it. And my oldest hates vegetables. So I was able to slide that in and sneak it in. And yeah, that's how it started. And then started serving it to friends and family. I actually became a health coach because I wanted to pay it forward, all the information I had learned about autoimmune, also just inflammation and anti-inflammatory diet. A lot I learned from other people like Rob Wolf, and just how to make food your medicine, your healthy medicine. And of course, as you know, when you're young, you guys are really healthy, but health is the new wealth. I really believe that. And so, it's important to do preventative things instead of waiting till, like I did, until it actually manifests into an illness. So friends convinced me to take it to farmers market, and that's how it started.
Yeah,
That
that's
was a
amazing.
really long answer, by the way. Sorry about that. I love telling that story though, because it really changed my life. Like changing the way I ate changed my life.
Yeah, 100%. And I've learned the same thing in a little bit different way. And I am a customer as well. And it's something that's important to me because my fiance, Julia, got me into this area and told me hey, gluten and all this stuff that's in our food today can really cause some major problems. And lupus is definitely one of those. And it's there's all kinds of issues that come around at some point or another and affect different people in different ways. And it just makes me feel cleaner personally. And to know that it's cauliflower came from all right, organic flour in California, and then literally came over to cauliflower. It's just crazy. But so tell us a little bit more. So you started out, selling this at a farmer's market, and like, did you ever think that you would be in like Walmart and Sprouts and like every major store across the country? How did that happen?
So we started in farmers market. It was kind of just fun. I brought my daughter. She named the product Cali'flour Foods. So it's spelled FLOUR, like the new white flour is what we hashtag the new white flour. Now the company's getting ready to switch to Cali Foods because we're going to branch into other vegetables. So, it's still out there as Cali'flour Foods. The website will not change, but the brand will be Cali Foods because they'll go into other vegetables. But yeah, so we went to farmers market and I started getting, because I lived in a small town called Chico, California, in Northern California. And their farmers market is like the top 10 in the country. So it's a pretty big deal to get into that farmers market. And I started getting calls and people were asking me if they could pick it up before farmers market because there was a long line. We would often run out. So I went to a local grocery store and I said, hey, I can't have these people like trying to hunt me down and find me. But if I had a place where I could advertise that they could buy it locally, that would be great. So I got my cottage license, which I needed for farmers market anyways. But we were growing so fast that literally I was up every night until 3 a.m. making pizza crust, going to bed for a couple hours, getting up, getting my kids off to school. So I'm like, okay, I need help. So then I went to an industrial kitchen and finally hired a co-packer. And so that's kind of how it started. And we were in a couple local stores, and then it branched out into a few more local stores around the area within a couple hours. Pretty much got so busy that we had to not renew farmers market for next year because grocery stores started picking us up. And I had no time, no money, and no employees. So I started hiring my friends, and my friends were like, we never see you anymore. I'm like, well, come help me. I need help. So the team that launched Cali'flour were my friends and family, and we ended up building that business. See, we started in 2015. We launched at farmers market in 2016 and a few grocery stores. And in 2017, we went online. And that year we went from negative 269,000. So I put all my savings and we were remodeling our house and all that remodel money into the business. But by the end of that year, we had done 5.3 million in sales online. So it really turned around quickly. Yeah. And we, thanks. We used a few techniques, a few things that I learned, including email, that really made that business grow fast.
Heck yes, that's amazing. I love to hear that. That is some incredible growth right there to go from, negative 6 figures to like multiple 7 figures. It's wild. So in addition to email, what are some of the other ways that you had such fast growth? And, especially if somebody who is kind of looking up to you, wants to start a similar kind of business, they're in the food space and they're trying to scale, like what advice would you give? What channels should they go on?
Okay, so this sounds really simple, but Google became like our university in the food industry. Like we were Googling everything and podcasts. So it's super important to listen to podcasts like yours. So I was listening to various different podcasts. The way I discovered email was through a podcast that Jeff Walker did, and The Power of Email. So I'd never really used email before. So I know you asked me for other ways besides email, but that's a really funny story that I'd like to come back to because we tested that out. And the way we tested it out obviously was not professional like you all do. But other ways we're using social media, and we really went viral on Facebook. And we shared one of my customers' stories, and just sharing our product through testimonials was huge for us. So this one particular story went viral. And I'm a real fan of not just talking about what your product is and what your product can do, but more of like how other people are benefiting from the product. I think that sells itself and makes it a little bit more grounded and and more relatable. So that was huge, using the power of social media, but we also used influencers. I went to a food show. So I really believe in putting yourself in places where you're around people that are like-minded, but have also done that and done it bigger and better than you have, so you can learn from them. So I went to a few different food shows, and one particular guy was talking about how he used influencers to build his business. And so I started implementing what he was doing, and that worked really well as well.
That's amazing too. And it's like in my industry in B2B and services, it's like I still go to a lot of shows and events, and like influencers are great. You can meet so many different people, and like social media, like doing something that's new and different and weird. And obviously it's like every single day, like it gets harder, but like the more creative you get, the better. And then obviously coming down to email marketing, it's like the things that are tried and true all the way up to like going to events and meeting the right people. And it just shows you how much that pays off. But it sounds like you had a really funny story to share about email. So I'll let you tell that.
I will. And I want to go back to what you just said, because I think it's really important as a founder or a CEO or, business owner, whatever you are. I think it's really important to pour into yourself. So through this whole process, even though we were really tight on money, I was constantly listening to podcasts, but I was also still in a mastermind, still investing in myself to learn and be around the right people. And so I think that's so key, because so many people, they look at the cost of a mastermind, or what are they going to get out of it? And really it's what you can contribute to it, as well as what you can get out of it. So meeting people and helping people, and learning how they can help you has been amazing. And it's definitely taking Cali'flour to the next level. As you know, what we've done lately with the investors. So yeah, going back to 2017, it was actually May of 2017. We had not done email marketing yet. And I went on and I was listening to Donald Miller podcast, actually, and Jeff Walker was being interviewed, and he was talking about the power of email. And so I went to my right-hand person and I said, her name is Jimmy, spelled like Jimi Hendrix. And I said, Jimmy, it was like Friday night at like 9:00 at night. I'm like, I think we should do this email thing. And she's like, okay. And I said, well, let's write an email. Neither one of us are copywriters. And let's just like pitch it out to the people that have purchased our product, because, and I know it's a big no-no because we didn't ask them if it was okay. But at the time, I'm like, we have all these emails from people that have purchased our products. Let's just blast this email out. And so it was a Friday night, and we had been working together on Zoom for a few hours, and there may have been a couple bottles of wine open. I don't know. But anyways, and I don't even drink, but we were having a good time that night. So we put out this email, and the next day I was driving to the Bay Area to my son's lacrosse tournament in San Francisco. And at the time I had my phone set that every time pizza sold on Shopify, my phone would ding. And so it was like 6:30 in the morning. We're driving the Bay Area. My husband's driving. My purse is on the ground. And we started hearing all these dings, which I didn't recognize because they were going at such a fast pace. By the way, we launched the email. It was just shy of midnight when we launched it. So this is 6:30 in the morning. So my husband's like, what is that dinging? And I said, I don't even know. And he's like, I think it's your phone. And I got my phone out and I was like, oh my gosh, it was going cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And I looked at it and I was like, from midnight to 6:30 in the morning, no joke, we had sold $38,000 worth of pizza. And that day ended up being $87,000 worth of pizza. It was May 20th, 2017, the first day we ever launched an email. And from then we started getting people in our corner like yourself that are experts in email marketing. So we didn't do the wrong thing. We started doing the right thing, but the power of email was huge. In 2018, we did over $6 million in revenue in email alone. So building your email list and investing in somebody who knows how to do that the right way, I think is key, because $6 million in a year, that's like the equivalent to a Walmart account, having your product in every single Walmart. I mean, there's not a lot of overhead there, and it's a nice revenue. It's a nice account, your email account, and you own it. So like Facebook, when they started doing their weird little things, probably should edit that out. So I'm not calling Facebook weird, but you know, you own your email list. You don't own your social media people. That can be taken away from you at any time. So you know how powerful email is. And that day convinced me, like having an $87,000 day, we had never had an $87,000 day. So I was like locked on email after that. I think it's so incredibly important. And, you know, not everybody realizes the power of email still. You think they do, but they don't, especially in the food industry. It's been interesting to talk to people about that revenue generating resource that people don't value and realize what it can do for you.
You're speaking my language, Amy. I love to hear it.
I believe in email so much. Yeah.
It's truly the final frontier.
Yeah, it is. It is. Could you speak a little bit to some of the results that you've gotten from, you know, Email Paramedic and myself and Christian, just when it comes to email marketing?
Yeah. So there's so much I want to say, but I have to be a little reserved. So, okay. So 2018 happened. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a history of how we all met. 2018 happened. At the end of 2018, the town next to our hometown burned down to the ground. So 48,000 people were out of their homes, including several of my relatives, which ended up living with me. So I was like, oh, I gotta figure out how to help them. And so I ended up bringing on some venture capitalists who bought a portion of my company, and I took some money off the table to help my family members and move them from Northern California, where their town had just burned down, to Florida. So the reason why I share that story is these guys are amazing. They are well-versed in getting any product into grocery, and they have created some amazing products, but they were not well-versed in e-com, and that was kind of our specialty of our brand, and email wasn't even a thing that they were interested in discussing. So I tell you that background because the team came in and they did phenomenal things for us in grocery, and we've grown massively. And that's a huge part. If you ever want to exit your company and you're in food and beverage, you've got to get into groceries. So that was a huge benefit having them come in. But meanwhile, things like email started to kind of be put on the back burner and not treated as important as a Walmart account, which was difficult for me because I knew how powerful email was. So bringing in other investors who understand e-com, have had businesses that they've exited through e-commerce, they understand how powerful email is. And we can talk about a mutual friend of ours that's a huge investor in Cali'flour, which is Joel Marion, and he has a huge list and he exited BioTrust. So he understood email, and I've actually taken some of his strategies before the venture capitalists came in, and we tried a few of his title strategies, and our open rates blew up just with little things that he suggested. So I knew he understood that. I'm so grateful that he's an investor, and he brought you guys in, and you guys have completely turned around our email marketing again. It's generating revenue, which it didn't. And you can speak to this better than I can, but you had to warm the email list up again. And you had to really go in there and basically put a Band-Aid on where it was ripped apart and slowly fix it. And it's working, and it's generating revenue. So I'm so grateful to that. And I know that through Joel, that was our possibility. And the team that came in that was focused on grocery, they are learning so much and now implementing it in some of their other companies, which is awesome.
Yeah, thank you for that. We appreciate that. And it was like, gosh, when it came in, it's like things were going to spam or the promotions tab, and the list just really wasn't like the size that it should be in terms of active. So came in, you know, wrote the first like 30 days. Okay, here's the content plan. Started like dripping it out, warming up the list. And obviously revived, I don't know how many people. Do you remember, Christian?
So many.
Like,
so
was
many.
it 60,000?
Yeah, about 60.
Yeah. So
I think it was more than that. If I know right, it was more than that, but whatever, you would know, Christian. Yeah, and you guys are great. You're so easy to work with, and you have amazing copywriting skills. So you and your team is far beyond anything I realized even existed out there. Because what we used prior to venture capitalists coming in wasn't anything as powerful as what you have to offer. So I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm so excited for what you guys have done. And I know, once we get all the social media and the content and the new products launched, email is going to blow up even bigger than what you already have happening.
Yeah,
So it's
thank you.
exciting.
No
So
problem, anytime. Yeah, so we recovered about 120,000 people. And the funnest challenge was reconnecting them and reminding them who you were and your story, and about connecting family, because it's all about bringing us together as a family. We're not like customers, like they're part of something bigger than themselves, which is just an extension of your family around Family Fun Night and your origins
Yeah,
of the story.
I love that. See, that's the heart of what this is all about. So I love that, because we used to call Cali'flour our Cali family. Any of our people that reached out to us, that our customers became Cali family. So yeah, I'm excited to work with you guys. I'm excited that I get to be part of social media. And I'm actually, for all your listeners, you can reach out to Cali'flour social media, and you're actually going to be speaking with me. It's not an agency now. And that's our goal, Christian. That's exactly what you said, is our goal is to bring back that family and unite together and make our customers part of the journey, not just a customer, not somebody we're just trying to sell to, but somebody we can form a relationship with. They can advise us on, interesting things, like maybe new products that they would like to see. We own our own manufacturing plant now, so it's really open to the possibilities of creating what the majority of our customers are looking for out there that may not exist yet.
yeah, totally. Now, before we go on to some exciting new things that Cali'flour is working on, for anybody who's listening about email marketing, Christian, what are maybe a couple of the strategies that have worked really well so far?
So starting from the top, like re-engagement, getting everybody like writing on a super personal level, sometimes doing some uncomfortable stuff, like maybe like not capitalizing the first word of the first sentence in a subject line too, which I know is crazy for a lot of people, but in the DR community, it actually does really well, because it shows that, hey, this is Amy talking, this isn't just like in a lot of other people that just like hire, VAs or whatever to do their business. Like these are real people, or they at least work very, very closely with Amy if they're writing for her. And so along with that, connecting with the audience, just like on a deeper level, and addressing that nobody wants to be on a diet, like that's the biggest thing, is everybody wants to look in the mirror and love who they see again or remember their youth, but they don't want to feel like they're limited. They don't want to go to the holiday party and like bring their low carb dish and have people make comments, like they want everyone to love it. And that's what you're truly bringing to the table, is that you're making holiday dishes and stuff that people can enjoy and not be embarrassed to show their family. And you don't even have to tell them, because they'll eat it. They won't even know. And then they're losing weight without even knowing it. So it's the beauty of cauliflower.
I love that. And I don't know how much time we have, but can I tell you a quick little story of one of the first stories that went viral?
100%.
Okay, so you may have heard, since we are writing together, you've heard Jesse's story. And so I'm going to tell your audience about Jessie. So Jessie was a friend of mine. And at the time, I was health coaching, and she was one of my clients. And she had an autistic child named Kenzie that was nonverbal. And so she was going to a special school, and Jessie was doing therapy with her and taking her to the doctor. And one of her doctors said, there's these new studies out where if you go on a low carb diet, it's really helping. Let's put Kenzie on a low carb diet and see if it helps her. So Jessie's like, I need, Kenzie loves pizza. I need your crust. Well, I need to try to get her to eat this. So she would eat it. Jessie would put the ingredients on it that Kenzie loved, but Jessie had to sit there with her to get her to eat it. And that was kind of common in all her meals, whether they were low carb or not. So 7 months later, and I haven't seen Jessie, she's focused on getting Kenzie healthy. 7 months later, I get a call from Jessie, and we've been sending her a pizza crust the whole time. And she's like, Amy, you're never going to believe it, but Kenzie has started talking, and she's going to be going next year. She's going to be going to a regular school. She's going to have an aide, but she's going to be in a regular school. And I was freaking out, because this was, as a parent, you have a nonverbal child, it's really difficult. I've never had that experience, but I know through her how difficult it was. So anyways, and she goes, and you're never going to believe it, I've lost over 100 pounds sitting there eating low carb with Kenzie. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have to share this story. Well, Facebook frowns on doing before and afters for weight loss, or even talking about weight loss. So I said, well, let's just share Kenzie's story, and we'll have the picture of you with Kenzie when she was nonverbal and after 7 months of therapy and diet, along with eating our pizza crust every day, because they ate it every single day, and they ate obviously other food. Yeah, and you've lost over 100 pounds, and we'll do the after picture of Kenzie speaking and your after picture without even telling people you lost weight, because it's so obvious. And that story went viral. And that's when that was January of 2017. And that's when we just started, we sold more in January than we had the entire year of 2016. So many people could relate to it. So many people could relate to having an autistic child or being overweight. So yeah, it was a relatable story with a real customer testimonial without it really being salesy. Like, we were just trying to share her story. So
Yeah, that's just one of the most incredible, like a lot of times for our clients, we notice that there's these testimonials where it's like you think one thing is going to happen, but then something completely like out of left field also happens, and there's like two wins in the same story. And when you share something like that, it's just going to do well. It's going to resonate with a lot of people, and it's going to be amazing and change more lives. So we're very happy about that. Now, on that note, because that's very family oriented, of course, the holidays are coming up, and obviously, like, my freezer is packed with cauliflower. I'm not going to lie, but if somebody's freezer is not packed with cauliflower right now, so you've got pizza crusts, like flatbreads, crackers, all this stuff coming out, like, what is like your favorite holiday like recipe or meal that somebody could maybe try out with their family this winter?
Yes. So okay. So let me tell you what we have really quick, and then I'll tell you my favorite thing that I've been doing at every party for the last year, bringing in. It's been a huge hit. It goes quickly, and I always wish I would have brought more. But first of all, we have entrees now. So we just launched even new entrees that are not cauliflower. So we launched beef with broccoli. It's like a Szechuan beef. It does have cauliflower rice, but it's primarily the beef and broccoli. And then we have cheesy chicken and cauliflower rice. And then we have our tortillas, our pizzas, our chopped pizzas, which we've always had. We're launching crackers. So look for the Black Friday, look for your Black Friday emails coming out. Jump on social media. We're going to start blasting it out. Actually, we had something go out today. It's going to talk about the crackers. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but we have 3 new crackers coming out. They are nothing like our previous crackers, nothing even close. So you're going to love them. And then, and then we have the top pizzas as well. So my favorite thing to do right now is take a plain crust or a plain tortilla, or the flatbread tortilla. They're the same thing. Plain one, and take a glass and make little rounds out of it, and then just cook it on the stovetop, or you can stick it in your air fryer oven. There's 3 different ways. I just made a video today on 3 different ways of cooking them that will launch on social media. But I love to top the rounds with any kind of cheese. Lately, I've been using mascarpone, because like cauliflower, it takes on whatever flavor you put with it. And then I've been doing, I don't like onions, but I love cooking onions with a little bit of olive oil until they're kind of caramelized. Put them on top of the mascarpone cheese on the little round, and then drizzle a little homemade balsamic, just a little bit of drizzle of homemade balsamic, which is basically using swerve instead of regular sugar, so that we can keep it healthy, and I can eat it, because sugar is definitely an inflammation causer. So then taking those, they're good cold, they're good warm, they're a hit at the party. Even if you're like me and you don't like onions, they're awesome. And then there's so many other appetizers you can take on those little rounds. I mean, you can do dairy-free, you can do meatless, you can do all kinds of things, but the rounds are the key, and they're awesome. And they're so much better for you than bread rounds or cracker rounds.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff right there. And it's kind of funny too, because for me, I'm somebody who traditionally does not have a lot of patience for cooking. And I completely forgot that I had one of your lasagnas literally yesterday and it was amazing. So my fiance loves to cook. Me, on the other hand, I love food, but cooking's not my main thing. So it's like, there's something for everybody. But at the end of the day, Lacey, let's say somebody wants to try it out. Where should they go?
Yeah, so obviously you can go online, Cali'flourfoods.com. We have all of the shelf-stable products there. If you're looking for the frozen products like the entrees or the top pizzas, and I want to say something because people are confused by this, but the tortillas and the pizza crust are shelf-stable. They're fully baked in our manufacturing plant. It's like getting a loaf of bread, but a healthy bread for you delivered to your house, or if you buy it in the grocery store, doesn't have to be frozen. The frozen products are at Walmart, they're at Sprouts, they're at Whole Foods, they're at a lot of independent grocery stores, other chains, Safeway, Albertsons. Gosh, there's so many now. I can't even keep track of them.
Everywhere.
We've got our lasagnas. Yeah, we've got family style lasagnas now at Costco, soon to be Sam's. So we're everywhere. There's a couple places we're not that we're working on. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm going to be able to go across the street one day and get anything. But so to wrap up, Amy, let's say somebody wanted to maybe ask you a question or connect with you personally. Is there a good spot for them to go?
Yes, go to Cali'flour Foods social media. I'm in social media just as like a month ago. I'm learning how to do the recipes online. I'm getting better. They're a little rough right now, but if you go in and you DM Instagram or you message Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, I'm the one answering all the questions. So private message those, I'll answer them, and then I'll connect you with my personal, or you can go to my personal too, which is Hey Amy Lacey, Hey Amy Lacey, Lacey. And there's not an agency managing my personal either. That's the best way and the quickest because we're on it all the time looking at it.
Awesome. That's actually pretty cool to know that you can just DM a founder like that and she's going to be the one replying to you. And if you listen to this episode, make sure you let Amy know that you're reaching out because you listened to this episode. So Amy, thank you so much for being here. I'm Troy, and this is Christian, of course. And thanks for everybody for listening to the Secrets to Scale podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thank you guys for all that you do. Thank you for making such a big difference in our company, helping our customers.
Thank you as well.